honestly, sometimes I step back and say, God bless you people, because I wouldn't want to do it. I wouldn't want to sit in there Monday and get harassed, and I know that's part of the deal, and that's public service, and if you're an elected official, that's what you signed up for. That said, it's, I don't know.
But it's a good point, Frankie, and we've talked about this before, not on the radio, that we've had friends that have mentioned, running for office, and most of the time the response was the fact that the reason why they didn't want was they didn't want to have their names dragged through the mud, and in the media or whatever media outlet that might be. Maybe it's in a blog, but that's a lot to be said when someone has a family, and to have their name, again, potentially damaged by certain accusations or a political stand they took. So I do give, and that's where I do give people credit, even this new slate of candidates for city council, that they're putting their heads out there, and they're putting a lot on the line to run. There's a lot of us people that understand that they would want to put themselves in that same position, but won't because of the ramifications, repercussions of it. So you're right. These people, they're putting a lot out there, and it's a tough job.
It's a tough job, and again, I think if you're really looking at it from, it's one thing at a state level or a national level, political aspirations. But I think when it comes down, and Lowell is a city and it's sizable, but at the same time, it's the biggest little city you'll ever be a part of, because everyone knows everyone's business. It's very parochial. It's very much, as you've said in the past, kind of old guard, new guard, and people that have been here and born here versus blow-ins, lack of a better expression. And with that said, as we mentioned, there are, and forgive me if I'm off by a number or two, I think it's 19 official candidates, correct?
Yes. Yep.
So that's a lot of people for 9 seats. That seems to be a high number. And again, with just stepping back, not really being entrenched in this, and I don't live and breathe the political scene, you wonder sometimes what are people's motivations for running.
Right.
And I'll note an Eric Gitchie, who was just here in the last hour with John McDonald and the Bear Man, and a Dan Rourke. These guys, they're here for the right reason. They're running, they have jobs, they're in the system, they live here, born here, bred here, kids here, schools here. I just think, aren't those the types of people we want leading our city? And as I said, not just Lowell. This is how all, I think, local town elections should work. Versus, again, maybe you can speak to a little further, Dave, but some of these names and these candidates, I don't, not that I would necessarily know everyone, but at the same time, what are they doing? Where are they coming from?
Right.
Is this just a stepping stone to something, quote unquote, bigger or better?
Right.
And that's not what cities like Lowell or any other need.
No, and someone like Rita Mercy, who could have gone on and been the state rep, or probably could have gone on to be, even more than that. She's been in the trenches now for, I want to say, 15, 20 years, and she's been involved in some really tough votes. And what I always loved about Rita, and some of the other councils, I feel the same way about. They always speak their mind, and she's always going to tell you the truth. She's a huge constituent councilor, so she believes in the constituency, and she's the one that you get a phone call. She gets a phone call from you. She's going to make sure that your request to get that stop sign in, she'll do everything in her power to make that get done. My concern too, Frankie, is again, there's a couple people that are running that we don't know, and I don't know what their motives are. They're not from here. I just look at my big thing about it is I just know the motives of some of the people running, even the ones I don't necessarily agree with, are in it for the right reasons. They have families here. They live here. They work here, and they want to make this community a better place. And I do too. But over the last couple of years, it's been so rancorous between the council. Yeah. We want to make it a better place, and I think this council election is going to do that.
Bad expression, but you don't want an old boys club, but I do know that in those days it was a friendly place to go. You go to City Hall and you knew everyone, because most of the people there leading or in leadership positions, they want to help you. And it's not about favor doing.
Yeah.
You know, and there's always that perception sometimes. I think it's more of, this is a good guy. He's got a business in the city. He's got a small business in the city. Let's help each other out. Let's, you know, it's not even scratch each other's back. It's just.
I probably shouldn't be as candid as I'm about to be, but I've been building now in the city. I was the 2010 recipient of the Green Building Award from the city. I've always had a really good reputation. And I just seen, my personal opinion, I've had the opportunity to build all over this New England. We do a lot of coastal building. We do a lot of local building. We do a lot of stuff out in the towns, and I've done it in New Hampshire and Maine and the coastal areas of Massachusetts. And I can't believe how much we're embraced by these local building departments. And they sit with you and they explain some of their regulations to you. And it's been such a streamlined, efficient process. It used to be like that in Lowell. I just, my personal opinion, lately, that they have a number of new inspectors has been advertised as a significant amount of turnover. And everything takes longer. The process is much more strenuous. It's by no means a streamlined process. Every inspector, unfortunately, has a different interpretation of things, and it's caused me in my own projects here a lot of time and money. And I know that's something from my vantage point is frustrating.
Yeah.
And but how do we make it so that the process is better, but we don't have a zoning code that inhibits a business-friendly environment?
Sure. Yeah.
I know.
Well, it's, and again, I don't think we have the answers today. It's a matter of how do you take a real step and not talk? There's enough talk.
Yeah, what do we do?
There's enough talk in Lowell. There's enough talk everywhere. It's just, there's so many ways to get your information. You know, we did a show a couple weeks ago about just texting, and that's just the microcosm of everything else. But it's blogs and newspapers and media and radio, and we're all guilty of just talking about problems and complaining rather than not really doing anything. But I think that backs up the point, David, of kind of put your money where your mouth is.
That's it.
Don't just complain. Be a part of the solution. And I know you're taking active steps to make that happen.
Correct.
And go ahead.
I'll interject. After that, and I don't want to talk about this, but after that infamous vote on Westview Road, that the planning board voted 4-0 in favor of us, the people that actually look at these developments, and then the city council voted 5-4 in favor as well, but we needed 6 votes. Frankie, for a month or 2 months, even to this day, I get people coming up to me saying, "Are you kidding me? That was such you got steamrolled on that one," and I knew it, and I'm not blaming anyone else but myself. But it made me, like anything else in life, was say, you know what? I'm not going to be as naive to this political machine. I supported people that voted against me that night, and I decided that day that I was going to start supporting people that supported me.
Well, yeah, and let's be very honest, frank, as it were.
Right.
That people, you're going to vote for your issues. You're going to vote your conscience. You're going to vote what's important to you. There's nothing wrong with that. That doesn't make you devious or undermining or, trying to influence elected officials.